Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephen. I'm a traditionally published fantasy author, and today video is one day late for reasons that will be already apparent, because today Angry Robot Books is announcing my new series, and so I was able to give a bit more information today, which is why I've delayed the video, so that the press release is out there and there's a little bit of information about it already. But if you've not seen it, I can tell you that my new trilogy is historic fantasy, and it starts next July. The first book is called The Judas Blossom, and it is the first in a trilogy, and pre-order links are already available now, which I've put down below. And there is a cover, which I'll come on to in a second, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the book and the series is about. I never want to repeat my books, and I want to do the same kind of story, and every time I've done a new series, I want to do something different. And this time, I'm doing historic fantasy, so I'm being very clear, this is not historic fiction. There is supernatural and weird and magic things in this series. So any historian who reads this series of books will have some kind of conniptions and have twitches because things don't make sense. I've moved things around. There's different characters that don't exist. There's real characters from history that I've used and changed. So it's all a little bit different. So if you ever see this book in the history section, please kindly move it to the fantasy section of your nearest bookshop. That would be appreciated, thank you. So what is the series and this first book about? It is a Middle Eastern inspired fantasy series, and this book is set in the year 1260, so the 13th century Persia. During this period of history, the Mongol Empire was spreading out across the world. Genghis Khan had tried to create an empire that would span the entire world, and he had not succeeded. And in the era that the book is set, his grandsons are trying to do that instead. But the empire has become so vast that they've had to split it into these 4 areas that are ruled by a different Khan, and these are called the Khanates. My story focuses on one of the 4 Khanates, which covers Persia and other parts of the Middle East, which was occupied by the Mongols, and the story focuses on a rebellion of groups of individuals coming together to try and fight back and get rid of the Mongol occupiers. So in the time of the story, the Persian people rebelled against the invasion by the Mongols, and they lost, and most of the army was destroyed and wiped out. And then the Mongols moved in and they started to expand their borders into other parts of the Middle East. So they went north into sort of Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and they went west towards sort of Turkey, also southwest towards Egypt. And of course there are a number of other enemies and factions in this area. So I've got a stack of books that I've been reading about this that I've hidden on my bookshelf for a long time so that you couldn't see them. And I'm taking pieces of information from this, but I'm not putting everything into the book because I still want to write with the style that people are familiar with me. So my books are quite pacey, there's a lot of action, there's strong characters, and that's what I tend to focus on. So there'll be some things from history that I've borrowed, and there's some things that I've ignored on purpose, because I think when you're encountering a new world, or in this case, a very different kind of environment with lots of new words, if you have too many barriers, it can just slow the reader down and they can struggle to get into it. So there are some terms in there that perhaps readers won't be familiar with, but I'm trying to ease them into that. So this is a very different kind of fantasy book. I don't think there's many things like it on the bookshelf. I don't think there are many stories being told of this era or of this part of the world. And so I'm doing something that's really, really challenging. It's the most challenging series, the most challenging books that I've ever written. I've just been working on the second book, and the first draft of that is nearly complete, and I'm already starting the edits on book 1. I'm very pleased to say that we've been able to secure an audio narrator. She's an actress from London called Roxy, and she's of Persian descent like me. So she will be doing the narration for the whole of the trilogy, and I'm really excited to see what she can bring to the series, and for readers to encounter this very different part of history that they wouldn't know much about, a very different perspective, and a very fresh take on fantasy. So I'm really excited about it, and now I'm going to reveal the cover. So here's the cover for The Judas Blossom, coming in July next year, and it's just incredible. I'm so pleased with how this cover came out. It looks fantastic. I haven't seen anything like it on the shelves. I think it'll really stand out, and the artist Angry Robot did a fantastic job. So as I said, the book is available to pre-order now. Go out and get it, and I'll bring more news on the series as I can. But in the meantime, that's all I'm going to talk about for today, and I'll be back next week with another video.